Who's for lunch?
I nearly said that in Sesotho. But then I looked at Oza. No, and I looked at Oza and he said BCCSA. He said it without saying it. No. Why are you putting me in trouble?
Who's for lunch?
Hey. Oza, switch that mic off.
That's who's for lunch.
Who's for lunch here? Who's for lunch on Power 98.7? So, ne ke kgopela hore ha BCCSA etla letle ho Oza Maji nna Pabi Moloi le ntlogele. This is the kind of show that you've come to.
Yes.
Welcome, actress and international DJ Mbali Nkosi. Yeah, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'm actually super excited to be here.
Really?
I've never been on Power FM before.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first time. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
It's really great to have you here. Let's talk to the very kind of beginning. I think for you, when people all knew your business, they knew your shower hour, they knew it all. Big
You're going
Brother,
back there.
Big Brother Mzansi
yes.
2013. Take us back to even the decision to enter that
100%.
house, and then how you feel it shaped what happened next.
Imagine. Actually, it's because I was actually trying to get onto Vuzu. Funny enough, I went for an audition on Vuzu, and at that time they were not getting presenters on Vuzu who were not known. So Vuzu was known for it is a popular singer or a popular actress or a popular presenter, and they thought the best thing would be, hey, why don't you go and audition for Big Brother? We can't control who they let in, but we can give you a golden ticket so you don't have to stand in the queue.
Right.
And I was like, me.
Big Brother.
I don't know about that. Because when I think of Big Brother, I just thought of like loudness and bums and noise and everything. And I was like, that is just not me. And then I spoke to like somebody I was very close to, and they're like, Big Brother's just showing personalities.
Okay.
So you don't have to be something you're not. You can go on there and actually be who you are. If you get out because they think you're boring, then they vote you out,
Yeah.
Then I was like, actually, okay, cool. If I look at it in that point of view, cool. Let me go and try it out. Went Gandhi, me, I've got a mouth. I talk and talk and talk and talk. So they let me in because of that.
Right.
And
what's that audition like, though?
it's actually really rigorous. That I thought it was going to be like a simple, hey, how are you? My name is Mbali. No, it's like a good 10 rounds of auditioning. The first one is a simple, the introduction. They judge you on your looks, how you speak, are you a vibe, are you energy? Then by the next time, they try to see how you actually would do the challenges in the house, because they have those like sort of amazing race challenges. They do physical challenges. Then they also put you in a room with people, and they like see how do you like talk to strangers, people you don't know, and how do you influence each other. I actually think that's the moment they put me in. Because they started like throwing things at people like, who do you think is a slay queen here? Or who do you think would steal in the house here? And you'd have to like just say a name and be opinionated. And I was very opinionated. And I think that's how they brought me into the house. And I made it all the way till the end. Funny enough, I never thought I was going to make it all the way there. I made sure that I do not show anything. I made sure every single day I shower with like a bikini or so that nothing, I didn't want any footage of me whatsoever because I knew what I wanted after that.
I see.
I made sure to also showcase or highlight any talent I had. Every day if I was cleaning, I was singing, or if I was cooking, I was presenting to the screen, or I was dancing every night. I was like, you're going to see every single talent I have, which actually helped, because as soon as I left, I got 4 auditions for presenting. I mean, it was our Perfect Wedding, it was our All Access, it was Vuzu.
Yes.
And then Vuzu was like, oh, but now because you're so like decent in the house, you're not Vuzu-esque.
Oh!
Which is funny.
Industry of ours.
It's funny because that's why I went. But
exactly. But look at everything
all
else.
Access, because All Access is like, oh, you are our,
Did you do
vibe.
All Access on Mzansi?
Yes, I did All Access in Mzansi, which is more grown, more mature crowd.
Yeah.
One-on-one meeting people, getting to travel, speaking to like amazing journalists, amazing jazz artists, amazing singers. And it was great. I did that for 4 years. So thanks, Big Brother.
Thanks to Big Brother.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes.
Eh? I think that that's so great. And I love the idea of entering something knowing the end in mind. And I think so many who want to be famous don't really enter with and not necessarily Big Brother, enter whatever sphere with the end in
100%.
mind, myself included. Back in the day, I just needed a job, got a job,
get you.
did my job.
Yeah.
So with an end in mind, I think that that's so tremendous. Okay, so then straight after that, you say it was auditions that you were invited to.
Yes, which is always nicer.
Yes, for television presenting.
Yes, 100%.
And then All Access was the one that you
Yes.
went for, and you
Yes.
did that for 4 years.
Yes.
But you've also been in some incredible productions acting wise.
Yes, I have.
Talk to us about the acting side of you.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, and a lot of people don't know, like our era, I'm revealing ages now, but there wasn't social media back then, you know, so acting's not something that came later on in life. I was in art school from the age of 5. I went to Legal, which is in Rosebank, down the road here. It was above Soul Candy production house. And from 5, I did ballet, tap, Spanish dancing, hip-hop, contemporary dancing, piano, musical theatre, drama. I even went to figures doing modelling. I was one of the Kidio children.
This is what you want
singing
today.
next to Chimney Chinwag. It's things we did.
Mr. Chinwag!
Growing up, but it's not, there was no posting
so
then.
cute,
You
yeah.
just did what you enjoyed and what you loved. So all of it was something that was with me all along. But it's like what
Yeah.
you're saying, if the opportunity arised, that's the moment you took it. So at the moment, dancing came first. I did dancing.
Yes.
Then the opportunity came for acting. I took it.
Yes.
But the skills have been there throughout our lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know more about Kidio, please. Where did you film
I was
Kidio?
a cute kid, guys.
Do you remember the studio?
I don't remember the studio. I mean, my mom's the one who took me, but I do know I was one of those model kids. You know, the ones that did about the pageants, first princess, second princess, queen. Well, I was always a queen, but
I love it.
my mom put me in figures.
Yeah.
And then it was that thing where everyone's like, "Oh, your child is so cute. She needs to be on TV." So from then, as a child, I was a child model where they're like, "Go for auditions and go for castings." And through one of the castings, I became one of the Kidio kids. And then you
so
just
adorable.
sit there and you sing the songs and you just scream when they tell you to scream and you laugh when they tell you to laugh. And I did that for a little bit. But it was cool. It was, shout out to my mom, because she's the one who was running up and down, taking me to castings and taking me to auditions and taking me to dance school and taking me to piano lessons and taking me to drama, taking me to the theater, watching me be Annie and watching me do Chicago. But again, this was during my whole life growing up.
So she recognized
Yes.
that this not only was your talent skill, but you were willing to put in the work.
Yes. Funny enough,
Okay, let's
that's
go.
actually not the reason behind it. I think she was living vicariously through me. Because she always said,
That's deeper.
yes, because she always used to say that growing up they didn't have the opportunities to have hobbies, you know, or to go to like swimming classes or to go to piano lessons, and she wanted me to do it all. So she never even said, "Hey, do you want to do one thing?" She was like, "I'm taking you to everything." So I was literally swimming the side, piano the side, dancing the side, theater the side, drumming the side. And I think she enjoyed watching the plays because she was obsessed with musical theater. But luckily I fell in love with it, and it was something that I loved. So it didn't feel like a hindrance. It felt like a yes, let's do this together.
I think that is so cute that she was like, we never got a chance. So you shall do everything.
Yes.
And that's really lovely, because you've got to be able to put in the work. Theatre's not
It's not child's
easy.
play.
It's not
Yes.
child's play. In fact, TV might be a little bit easier than theatre
Yes,
to
yes,
a
'cause it's
large
live.
degree. Yeah.
It's live, so you have to do it
Yeah.
as is. Whatever you take out there is what is put out. Where
Yeah.
with acting, they can say, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Another take.
So you know
Yeah.
how much rehearsal goes
Yes.
into the thing
Yes.
from a long time ago. From all of your productions, which of your acting roles maybe challenged you the most?
Challenged me the most, I'd
Yeah.
say, was Violet on the Queen.
Okay.
And that's just purely because it's completely different people in every aspect.
To you.
To me,
Yeah.
yes. It was playing a caregiver, helper, which I had to fight for that role as well.
Tell me more.
So when that role came about, Shona called me and he said, listen, I've got a role that I want for you. May soul rest in peace, yeah. Such a cool gent. He's like, I've got a role for you and I know you're going to kill it.
Wow.
But you're going to have to fight for it because people don't see you playing that role. And I said, sure, no problem, let's go. Did the audition as well as all the other people who came for the role. They sent the tapes through to Channel, made the callbacks, went to the callbacks. Channel said, we like her, but when people see Mbali, they don't see a helper. And unfortunately, they know her now outside of acting. So they know her as herself. So how are we going to do that? And Shona sat down and was like, let's strip her. Like, let's just remove everything that people know her as. So I had to cut my hair and go literally afro. Cut my nails, which was okay. I mean, it's part of the character development.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to shoot with makeup on, not even foundation.
Wow.
And then they were like, okay, we kind of believe in it.
Sorry. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's like foundations, everything.
Didn't know makeup. I just caught myself doing that. As if makeup is everything.
But I get it because the camera's so up close.
I was
it
about
shows
to say,
every single imperfection.
On
it
camera,
was scary.
You must have been frightened.
It was very scary. And I mean, I'm prone to like acne. I'm glad my skin's much better now. But back then, I had many acne scars.
Sure.
And it was a weird moment to be like, you want to take all of it off? Sure. I was even like, you can take foundation. I mean, you can take the blush and the lashes. And they're like, no. Everything. And I was like, okay. And then they tried to do that a bit, and then they said, when you speak English, it comes out. So you're not allowed to speak a word of English on the show. And I said, okay, that's fine. But now the problem was the character was a helper for billionaires. So they would be ordering filet mignon.
Right.
You know? And Cabernet.
Uzoisho
Ganjan in Zulu. So I was sitting there, I was always like fighting with that role. But they did help and bring in a translator to help me on certain words that I was just like, "Hi guys." And also I'm a Joburg Zulu, ne? I'm a Joburg Zulu. Like, meaning Pumekasi the side. I don't know the rural, sort of situation. But they actually did assist me in trying to get that true authentic self. A lot of she cried like every single week, which was draining. And it was the first time I had to do a full soapy. So it was the first time I had to put in those 16-hour days, 6 days a week. So yes, definitely the most taxing role.
What a beautiful story though, right? When you go back and you think about your time there, it's such a remarkable story. 0861 987 000. That's the number that you can dial if you want to get in touch with us. You can also send us a WhatsApp on 0833037093. Tapelo, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi. How are you, Pabi?
Great, and you?
Yes, so Tapelo is my middle name. My first name is Tabiso, right?
Tapelo Tabiso.
No, Tabiso is my first name. Tapelo is the middle name.
Got it.
So I worked with Mbali. People are not aware that I worked with on different projects, but the main project that we did was launching Kaiser Chiefs Telecoms.
Oh my gosh, Tabiso!
I promise you, when you talk work ethic, talk dependability, talk, my goodness, tenacity.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I don't even know what to say, guys. And I think most of the jobs that we did, including Kaiser Chiefs Telecom, is a thankless job. Startups, people forget people who started something and incubated.
Yes.
It's always easy to manage something that has been started. The most painful, most difficult work is startups, starting something from zero.
So what was that all about? What was going on?
We were launching the telecommunications part of Kaiser Chiefs.
Okay.
That was obviously looking to, grow part of their business offering.
Right.
As Kaiser Chiefs, the soccer team, right? Or rather the brand Kaiser Chiefs.
The brand, yeah.
So obviously they do other businesses, and one of them was Kaiser Chiefs Telecoms, right? We started it with that girl, two of us. The most thankless job, yes, but I promise you guys, when it comes to work ethics, My goodness. And you guys are talking makeups and everything else, but I think she's more corporate than anything else. I mean, I think I would work with her any day.
Oh, Tabi, so you're gonna make me cry. And the funny thing is, he's also like not highlighting who he is. He's a powerhouse of a brand. The moment he said, I was like, I know exactly who this is. This was my boss. He was the MD of Kaizer Chiefs, and before that, he was at Vodacom. He scouted me to work with him on that startup, and it was a crazy time. A lot of hard work, a lot of putting all these different stakeholders together, these powerhouses in one house, and trying to make them work together.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Glosal, it was Vodacom, it was Kaizer Chiefs. But it was such a great time. It was actually a beautiful time. Funny enough, this is the job I quit to do Big Brother.
Now, did you know that, Tabiso Tapelo?
I wish you the best, girl.
Thank you so much. Oh, man, you are amazing. Thank you so much, Tabiso.
That is a really beautiful call. I think there's nothing better of a compliment than your hard work.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes. I think a lot of people don't know that side because I did business, and before then I actually worked in corporate for a good 6 years doing marketing, sales, business intelligence.
And so this is what this was.
Yes. This was probably my third corporate job I did. And it was very fulfilling, very hard, very taxing, and also trying to show, you know, as a young female going into a space with such heavy hitters, for them to take you seriously and for them to actually understand that you know what you're talking about was also another hard thing. Tabiso mentored me through that to say, take your space. He even did it on purpose. On a lot of serious meetings, he would purposely not show up and make me actually take the meeting. And I mean serious board meetings where I'm now standing in the MD's place and I'm like talking to the boards of Vodacom, the board members of Kaizer Chiefs, the board members of Glosal, and being like, this is what we're going to do.
Well, because you're capable.
Very capable.
Yeah.
Very capable.
What was, if you could compare and contrast, being on set and being in corporate, in the corporate world.
Yes.
Tell us the similarities and the differences.
Very different spaces, to be honest. Very different spaces. Similarities, it's harder for women, definitely. People look at you, especially if you're bubbly, you're young, and you've got so much drive. A lot of people try to like bring you down and not want to uplift you.
Okay.
But differences is, I can say, in the corporate world, it's for me personally, I found it much easier to give my space and say, this is what's going to happen, because I had proof, I had documents, I had paperwork to show. Where I feel in the entertainment industry, even if you have the skill and people see you doing a great job, you could be replaced with somebody with no talent.
100%.
Whatsoever. Yes. And it's because of favors or politics or dramas, where I feel in the corporate world, it's more easier to say, hey, look at my work. This is the report I did. You can't tell me I didn't show up. And you can actually have bodies to fight with you. You can go to HR. You can back that up. Whereas I feel, and I'll specifically be on the acting side, there is no board or no space that you can go to say, hey, I'm being mistreated on set, or the treatment is horrible. There isn't that. You're basically on your own. And if you have an agency, fine, they can fight for you to an extent. But I still feel there is no backing. You have to be your own person in that space.
And I love what you say. You can be replaced by someone with no skill, no talent. And there's so many people who want in on the business that really you will be replaced tomorrow.
Yes. And even if people do have the talent, they can replace you because of the fee. Because they charge less. Yeah. Many stories to unpack there, but another day.
We stick to our fee, and if you don't want that, it means you don't want me.
Exactly. That's 100%.
I really wanted to end this half hour with a song. So we've got Dreams, we've got Umhlama, and we've got Moya.
Yes.
Which one do you want us to play?
You know what? I always start with Moya because it's significant in being number one. For the reason that is Tagazelo Sam. So in the beginning of the song, it's a tribute to my forefathers, my dad's side of Nkosi. And at the end of the song, it's a tribute to my mom's side, Abum Seleko. So I always just open up, even on sets, everywhere, even the album, it's the welcome.
I love it.
Yes.
This is Mbali Nkosi on Power 98.7 Moya. I mean, that is just so beautiful. Moya. It is Mbali Nkosi from her debut project, Elements, visiting us for Who's for Lunch on Power Lunch this afternoon. We find out what's happening in our very latest headlines, and then we can take your calls, we can take your SMSs as well, as Mbali Nkosi sticks around with us for the next half hour. It's 2:30.
Get in touch with Pabi on X at Pabi Moloi.
It is Who's for Lunch on Power 98.7 as we get into the last half hour of our show. Actress and international DJ Mbali Nkosi is in studio with us. I don't know why we haven't added presenter in the mix, and producer in the mix. But they and an entrepreneur.
Yes, I was
in
about
the
to say
mix.
that's one of the biggest ones.
So I'm
Yeah.
adding it in now,
Yes, please.
because we absolutely must celebrate the entirety of you.
Thank you.
I was saying during the break that Oza and I are people who love music very
Yes.
much, and at some point we had a guest in here and they kept talking about their 3-step album and 3-step genre, and you were like, hold your horses. Stop it, Lori. We know dubstep.
Yes.
We know 2-step.
Yes.
Kimang 3-step owner. So let's talk to us a little bit about
yes,
Afrotech, 3-step, the genres that Elements represents.
Yes. So the EP is purely Afro House and Afrotech.
Okay.
But I am a 3-step and Gqom DJ as well. So basically what 3-step is, it's something that is actually really new. It's been coined by Tugzin, who's basically created a beat. So if you in any music space or you understand beats, all beats tend to be 4 beats, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even a dancer knows this, 1, 2, 3, 4. But with 3-step, every 4th beat something changes. So it could be a snap, a snare, a percussion, a clap. So now it could be it's beat, 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 ka, beat, 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 ka, beat, 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 ta. So it now changes the sound, making it more faster, making it more, I think it makes it more sexy.
Yes.
And it also just, it's appealing to the ear, because now it feels like, what's that thing that's catching me every 4th? That's different.
Yeah.
So that's what 3-step is.
I like the sound of that, Oza. We're into it now. We've signed up for 3-step.
Yeah.
Do you perform your own music? Do you sing?
I do sing, but I have not sang. I do harmonize in the songs, but I'm not the feature singer in the songs. I am there. But that's purely a personal thing.
Yeah.
I'm still working through wanting to be in the spotlight, holding the mic, singing in front of people.
Yeah.
But in studio, I'll write the song. I'll tell you how to sing it. I'll step in the booth, sing it, and ask you to redo it.
Okay.
But it's just more of a confidence thing until I get back into that space again.
Because that was Butle
Bendalo, one of my favorite vocalists. I approached her and I literally told her exactly how I wanted it to be done, and how I had this whole vision of, even on my phone for 3 years, I had Istago Zelosami as like a voice note, and I always said, one day when I DJ, I'm going to start like my DJ sets with that. And I said, actually, why don't we put it in the song so I could just start with that song?
Exactly.
And she was like, let's do that.
I cannot imagine her rejecting that. I imagine her going, yes!
And you know what's the funny thing?
Yes.
That's exactly what happened because I don't know her very well. I was actually at the SA Film Festival with Sandile, right? And we were watching his movie that was debuting. And I saw her across the room. And because she was actually on one of my bucket lists of the people I wanted to sing on the song, I ran. It was like a manifestation. I was like, you see, I wrote it down. There's the opportunity. Run. Yeah. I ran. And like a groupie, I was like, hi, my name is Mbali Nkosi. I love you so much. I've been following your work for like... And she's like, Siswam? Breathe. And I'm like, okay. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I've got this EP. It's called Elements. And she's like, whoa. I do not work on things I don't believe in. And she's like, you're going to have to sell it to me. Come, elevator pitch, 5 minutes, go. And I was like, okay. So this is what it's about. Yes. This is where it comes from. This is the meaning. And then she said, let's go into studio tomorrow. And I was like, yes. So it's one of those like beautiful moments. But every single song, I have a beautiful meet cute actually with every single person I asked to be part of the project. And it just felt blessed from the beginning. It was like that's why I said it's such a spiritual album, and it was meant to be. Each song is literally an element of the universe, and each track is lined up with the chakras. So spirit being at the top, being your crown, all the way down to earth, umhlaba, which Sandile Mahlangu sings, which is the sacral root, which is down here. It's what grounds you. So I literally purposely put every single song in order so that it aligns with you, it heals you. It also, every song must have meaning. I didn't want to make music that's just to release. I wanted it to have meaning. And I think it's the storytelling person in me that wanted that, you know?
I mean, they all cross over, right? In the great Venn diagram of artists.
Yes.
This is a lot that you want to do, and it's about storytelling.
It is. I think that's the core of everything, really. And I'm from the school of songs had meanings, you know, like when I was there back in the day playing my Need for Speed, listening to King of Hearts, listening to Soul Candy, and the songs had meanings. And
you got us now. We know our
songs.
You're like,
yes. That's where I come from. That's what I listen to. You know, I was the girl sleeping with the radio on, listening to music, in bed. So that's what I understand. That's the music I know. Even when I think of Yemaya, which is track 3, which is my water element, it's about going through a journey. It's sang in Spanish. It's going through a journey about wanting to leave things in the past. And you finally get to these waters. It could be a river, it could be an ocean, it could be a lake. And you basically like praying, saying, whatever that's happened, let it go. I'm here now. I want to move forward. Please cleanse me. Please let it go. I'm here with my open heart. Let's move forward. And that's basically the whole EP. It's about searching within. It's about healing yourself. It's about getting back to self, getting back to roots. And that's basically what it was about. And even Umhlaba, number 5 that Sandile is on, which is the earth, and we took it literally because the song is about the land. Very fitting with what's happening right now. But it's
politically.
Yes,
of course.
But it's basically an apology to your ancestors, an apology to your future generations, because I made a mistake and sold something that was a gift to me.
Wow.
And I didn't know how important this gift was, and I gave it away. And that's what you're doing. You're apologizing. And I'm sure people can take different points from it in terms of it does not necessarily have to be the land. It could be a piece of yourself. It could be something that you gave up that you're not ready to give up. But the essence of the song is that, to say, like, even apologizing to any sort of higher being that you follow, to say, you gave me this gift and I just gave it away. I'm sorry. And not just to me now, I'm sorry to the people behind me, and I'm sorry to the people ahead of me, because I'm affecting you. It's all energy. So everything was thought out. Everything had its place.
It's beautiful.
And I just wanted, like a love letter to self. Yeah.
That's just really beautiful. Do you live in this way? Do you carry yourself in this way daily?
100%. Yeah. I am such a spiritualistic person, and I'm very deep rooted into my culture, even though people do not believe it. What
do you mean people don't believe it?
Well, we're gonna go into deeper chats there.
Come, let's go.
I think just from a young age, people did not believe I'm African. A lot of people thought I'm mixed, or they thought I've got this sort of situation that's happening, and it's like, no, guys, like, umama mumzulu, ubaba mumswati. that's it, and
you're blackety black.
And I had to fight my whole life proving that's who I am. And in a weird mix, it could be a trauma response, but because of that, I became extremely rooted in my culture, extremely rooted in who I am and where I come from and why it's important to me. And yes, I meditate a lot. I journal. I hike, which is part of my release.
And grounding.
Yeah. I write music, which is my let go. I light candles. I light my incenses. I do breath work.
I think that's so important.
It's very
especially
important.
Especially in what you do.
Yes.
They're surrounded by so many different
energies. And also a lot of people who are trying to mold you into something you're not.
Yeah.
So you always have to remind yourself and ground yourself and say, whoa, that's not me.
Yeah.
And also be comfortable in letting go when something no longer serves you.
Sure.
And you won't know that if you don't take the time to sit and speak to self and say, okay, am I still comfortable in this space? Do I still want to do this? And if you don't, it's okay. Let go, adapt, change, move, do something that
Pivot.
serves you. Yes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's your life. You need to be happy. You need to go home. You need to sleep. If you're not sleeping, change it. Something's wrong. Change it.
But I'm quite fascinated by the backlash or the bullying or the questions around your race.
Yes.
And it's just because of the literal color of your skin.
Yes.
Because you can speak your
Yes.
language.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's done a lot actually. It's hindered me in getting jobs. It's hindered me in so many ways. I went through a depression because of that.
Wow.
I went to therapy
Good.
because of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't understand when they're like, what do you mean? It must be easy for you. It's like, actually, no, it's not. Because in the country we live in, when you go for casting, they actually describe exactly to the T what they're looking for. So we're looking for a caramel, blonde-haired, green-eyed. And a lot of the times it's where do you fit in? Because your complexion doesn't fit in with the language. So if you're applying for a mixed race person, can you speak Afrikaans? I can't. Okay, but if you're applying for a black person, why are we not putting a black person in that role? And I'm like, but I am a black person. And they're like, no, but you don't look it.
Sure.
So it was always, that's why I said I had to always fight for my roles. And that's why I took a break from acting. It became very toxic. It became a very insecure space because I had to question my heritage. I had to question myself. And it made me not like me. Yes.
Sure. And it's so interesting because really you're supposed to focus on the character,
exactly.
Right? You're supposed to focus on immersing yourself in this work.
Yes.
But now somehow
other things come into play. And it's sad because anywhere else in the world, it's an English role or it's a Spanish role or it's a French role.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's broken down into tribalism. Do you speak Zulu? Do you speak Venda? Do you speak Sotho? Even if you're great for the role, you could lose it because you don't speak the language of the show you're casting for. Which also then I think minimizes the amount of work you can get as an actor in this country because there's only a certain amount of shows that are going to come out in your language. Imagine if, for example, you're a vendor person, are you saying the only opportunity I have is Mubang? It's a tricky one. So it just became a tricky space for me. So as I said, if it no longer serves you, let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful that you have such an array of really polished skills that you can not necessarily fall back on, but also then utilize and put into the spotlight
100%.
at that time.
Yes.
Tell me about your business. You're the co-founder of several entrepreneurial pursuits. Tell me about Emmy. Tell me about Azuri Beauty and Hotberry Corporation.
Not a problem. Azuri is a beauty bar. It's a cosmetic brand that I collaborated with Timbisiet and Sharon.
Oh, stunning.
And it's purely because, as I said, I've got all these 10,000 qualifications I have. I'm trained as a somatologist.
You're joking.
Hence the spirituality.
Okay.
I know how to do Reiki, aromatherapy, all of that, massages, waxing, lashes, all of the jazz.
The spiritual part was part of somatology. I just thought it was waxing. And...
No, so there's beauty therapy
Yes.
and there's somatology. So beauty therapy is purely the practice, like doing the beauty. Somatology is the study of using beauty holistically.
Wow.
So that's where now you do study beauty, but then it's not a certificate. You now actually have to take anatomy as a major. You have to take business into space. You have to take breath work and all those things, because now you learn about passing energies. And as a somatologist, you don't only need to work in the beauty space. You could be a physiotherapist. Could be people that assist surgeons after people get surgery. So there's so many aspects in there. So we use that knowledge to create Azuri. We had to take a break after COVID because it really did mess us up.
Yeah.
We do plan on relaunching again, and it's going to be beautiful. It's something that will always be there because it's in me. But yes, it was a beautiful time. It's just a happy space for me as well, just creating energies.
And your fashion brand?
Fashion brand M. I know it sounds like Emmy, but it's M Mbali. Just spelt it out. It's just it's focused on literal thought pieces here and there. It's not something that's always out. Whenever I have a thought or I want to try something, it's another creative space for me to say, hey, I thought of a collection. Let's take this one out. I tend to take a collection out like once a year, and then they sell out, and then I let it go.
Yeah.
It's more of a hobby for me, but I've gotten so much support with that. Hotberry is my marketing brand that I have with Sharon as well. There we provide Sharon Kazayo. She is my best friend, my sister, my everything. We've been friends since I was 11.
Shout out to you, Sharon.
We basically family. We're like two peas in a pod.
And it's beautiful that you can work with someone you trust that much.
100%. And we've had that company running since 2010. We've worked with over 30 brands. It's branding, it's marketing, it's providing talent, it's providing skills, providing staff, and it's something that's just always there and will be there. That's like bread and butter for us.
That's so
and then the fourth one, which is not mentioned there, is my farm that I own with Sandile.
Okay.
Yes, we own a farm together, and we do poultry. And we basically supply eggs.
He told us that when he was here.
Yes, he did. Yes. So we've been now farming for 2 years. We're trying to expand, looking into going into more goats and orchards. Orchards on my side because my family has a history of, we had orchard farms in KZN.
Incredible.
And when my great-grandfather passed away, he left it to the great-grandson who sold it. So that's why Mhlaba's very important to me. But I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to replant those trees and I'm going to put back what was lost. Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Tell me more about Sandy.
You know everything. You had a whole conversation with him.
I don't know anything from your point of view.
Amazing gentleman.
How did you meet?
We met through work. We're in the same space. We had a brand collaboration that we had to do together, and it was for 4 months, so we had to do activations together. We knew of each other before, but that's the first time we hung out and we became friends, and we started speaking, and we speak the same. We both very spiritual, very think about minds, think about bodies. Very, we had deep chats. We would talk for 7 hours at a time, and then eventually we started dating.
That's a beautiful thing.
3 years later, here we are.
3 years.
Yeah.
What's the secret to 3 years together? In quite a public relationship, whether you put it out...
It's not that public, eh?
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
whether you put it out
yes.
or not,
yes.
you shall be spoken of because of your individual 100%. Personalities in the media.
I think we purposefully decided not to post stuff and be out there so that we can keep things to ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not hiding it, but we're just not going to advertise it. I mean, we were approached by magazine covers and interviews, and it was just no. And then one interview butt-wrecked us because we didn't know it was going to be an interview that was aired. We thought it was just like a behind the scenes for like a Netflix something.
Yeah.
Just to find out it's like a whole YouTube show. And we're like, huh? But we literally purposefully make sure not to do that.
How did they do that?
It was because if you're going to an event and they say, hey, can we quickly interview you?
Yes.
You go and you get interviewed, right?
Yes.
And it's normally like for behind the scenes or like a reel or like a story. And it's like, it's just 10 minutes, you know? And when you go to like big events, you do have to sign NDAs that whatever footage is there, they're allowed to use wherever they want.
Correct.
So it was one of those moments, but we just let it go.
Askies.
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
There is so much that you do, and I imagine there's so much that you want to do. So I know some people don't share their greatest dreams for a variety of spiritual reasons. But is there something that somewhere in the back of your mind that you go, oh, but if I could do that you wouldn't mind sharing with us?
I think I'm already doing that, and I think that's why we didn't speak about the farm. It's my ultimate goal. You can see after explaining everything, I'm like a hippie at heart. I want to be barefooted, running around the orchards, feeding pigs and goats and chickens, with lots of dogs and lots of children running around. And I want creativity to be not my salary. I want it to be my passion, something I enjoy doing.
Outlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel a lot of things got destroyed the moment you made it work. Like I feel like dancing got destroyed for me the moment I made it work. Acting got destroyed for me the moment I made it work. So it was more enjoyable and more happy or fulfilling to me the moment it was not. So I want to take it back there where it's not, where I in my time, in my pieces, but I want to be on a farm.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Totally. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Give us your handles. Where do you want us to look? What must we do?
100%.
Do you need us to vote for you for anything? Tell us.
At the Mbali Nkosi on all social media platforms, and the only reason is because Abo Mbali Nkosi bagcwele everywhere. So it's the Mbali Nkosi. And please listen to the music. A lot of work went into there. A lot of people put it their heart and soul on Spotify, on Apple Music, everywhere. It's Mbali Nkosi. And yes, guys, other than that, just pour into yourself, be great, and love yourself.
What song is this that's playing?
This is Dreams featuring Rolene. Beautiful song. We used a lot of percussion instruments to follow through with the element of air. And I love it. It's about change. It's a love song, but it's about when things change, but you don't know if you want to go forward or backwards.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Actress, entrepreneur, producer, international DJ Mbali Nkosi. Thank you very much for visiting us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And that's it for Who's for Lunch, and that's it for Power Lunch on Power 98.7.